Welcome to the Midnight Madness Week 8 Friday Night Podcast, where we look at scores from high school football played around the state of Washington. I'm your host, Todd Milles. We'll be joined by the computer guru in the Tri-Cities, Matt Evans. A very interesting Week 8. A number one in 1B goes down, and I think we have a clear number one in 2B after tonight. We will get into that a little bit later as we head down to crossover and league championship week next week, and then the round of 32 just 8 days away. Looking forward to that. And now let's get right into the Week 8 top 25 scoreboard. Number 1 O'Day beat West Seattle on Thursday night 56-14. Number 2 Gonzaga Prep holds off Meade 31-23. Number 3 Lake Stevens defeats Kamiak 49-6. Number 4 Eastside Catholic beats number 20 Rainier Beach 42-6. Number 5 Mount Tahoma handles Silas 45-6. The Puyallup train at number 6 keeps rolling along. They shut out Curtis 45-0. Number 7 Chiawana in Matt Evans' near backyard holds off number 19 Richland 21-14. Number 8 Graham Kapowsin defeats Spanaway Lake 28-12. That was also played on Thursday. Number 9 Archbishop Murphy was off this week. Number 10 Sumner blanks Emerald Ridge 50-0. Number 11 Bellevue plays tomorrow at Woodinville. Number 12 Tumwater, the game that Lauren and I were at, beats WF West 41-20. Number 13 Moses Lake defeats West Valley of Yakima 72-7. Brady J, big first half in that one. Number 14 Anacortes beats Burlington Edison 28-3. Number 15 Enumclaw hosts Eastmont tomorrow. Number 16 Kennewick, back-to-back losses, loses to the rival. Number 23 Kamiakan 21-20 on a late drive. Number 17 Lakes beats Capital 47-6. Number 18 Royal handles Natchez Valley 55-0. Number 21 Glacier Peak blanks Jackson 54-0. Number 22 Camas shuts out Union 50-0. Number 24 Skyline 14-0 over Mount Si after a tumultuous week. And number 25 Cedro Woolley beats Jake Locker and Ferndale 33-7. Man, there's some interesting things that happened in Week 8, Mr. Evans. Give me a couple things that caught your eye the most from the scoreboard tonight.
Well, we're kind of starting to see the weather start to shift to the fall weather. We're starting to see the 60s and 40s and all of those nice smaller temperatures and whatnot. And we're starting to see some of those things that we thought were inevitable kind of becoming less and less inevitable. Like tonight, huge win for DeSales over in Walla Walla over number 1 Liberty Christian. Liberty Christian was number 1 in literally every single 1B poll you had, computer and human. It's like unanimous number 1. They go over to Walla Walla. DeSales knocks them off tonight, 34-26. Huge win for the Irish. And then a little closer to my house, Kamiakan and Kennewick. Kamiakan started a backup quarterback in this game. And they just kept themselves in it. They blocked a PAT on Kennewick's last touchdown, and then they drove down the field and scored with just over a minute to go. Great pass over the middle to Mason Severson, and the Braves hold off for a 21-20 victory. And then you go across the river. Chiawana Richland was in doubt all the way to the end. Morgan Dodson missed a field goal from, I think it was 28 yards out to give Richland a chance. Richland fumbles the ball away. Chiawana gets the ball back, turns it over on downs with a minute to go. Richland can't get down to score. Just amazing football happening over here this week.
Yeah, you are the hotbed of some crazy stuff tonight, pal. Those 3 scores would register any week. Chiawana keeps winning those close games as it clinches the outright MCC championship tonight. There were 3 scores also that kind of caught my eye. The first one was Eastside Catholic winning easily over Rainier Beach, 42-6. We talked about that on the midweek podcast. We thought there'd be a lot of offense. We did really like Eastside Catholic's defense, and For that defense to hold Rainier Beach to 6 points, very, very impressive. The second one, and we're going to have him on as a guest here in a couple of minutes. I guess we have a clear 2B number one, Matt Evans. Toledo 32, Onalaska nothing. Toledo holds Ani to less than 100 yards. Ethan Thayer, one of the state's leading rusher, less than 50 yards. All those seniors remembered last year. We'll ask Mike Christensen about that in a couple minutes. Big win for Toledo as it marches on to that number one seed in 2B. The last one that I thought was obviously the DeSale score. You're right. Liberty Christian. They were about as unanimous in number one as Archbishop Murphy is in 2A. I don't know if anybody in the AP poll had anybody but Liberty Christian. I think they were the unanimous number one in the coaches poll. Great win for DeSales tonight in Walla Walla. Makes it a little more interesting in the 8-man game when somebody doesn't get to cakewalk through a regular season schedule. Well, I get to introduce a 2B coach this week, a very happy coach in the 2B ranks, Mike Christensen from Toledo. Big home win over Onalaska, 32-0. I think we've got a clear number one team in the classification. Mike, congratulations on the win. We talked a little bit off air before you came on. You guys were shut out in this game a year ago, and I think you said that this is the great thing about having a lot of seniors who remember playing their final home game. Can you kind of explain how your seniors reacted to that and how well they played tonight?
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me on. I don't know about a clear number one. There's lots of good teams around the state, but I think it's the fact that a lot of our kids are multiple year starters, and they lose that game last year, and they feel the physicality that Ani has, and being able to go back mentally and think about that, and it motivates you this year. So they knew what was at stake, they knew what they had to do, and they prepared really, really well for a really good football team. And so when you have that background, you have those starters coming back and they're playing their last game, I think it really does motivate them to do that extra little bit that's inside you that everybody has, but you can't tap into very often.
Right.
And when you do, you can do something special, and that's what our guys did tonight.
Ethan Thayer, the fullback from Onalaska, one of the state's leading rushers, you guys really held them into check. What were the things that stood out about the way you kind of controlled him tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he's a really, really good football player, big, strong kid, and they've got a big, strong offensive line up front. So you have to rally to the football, and you can't tackle him with one guy. So I thought our guys really did a good job of executing the game plan, but also, reading their keys and then flowing to the football. And so when it was plugged up front, our guys came around from the side and didn't give him very much breathing room. And so we were able to keep him bottled up because you don't want to see him in the open field. He's fast. And we were able to keep him, behind the line of scrimmage.
I don't need to tell you the importance of tonight. We'll probably clinch you a home game or two in the playoffs. Last year, you had to go to Tri-City Prep in the first round. I'm sure that game probably sticks in your craw, but this is also a district that Napavine and Onalaska and then in Kalama, when they were in 2B, had really kind of ruled the roost. What's it feel like kind of getting that piece of that pie tonight? And I think a lot of people are going to look at you guys undefeated, a big win off Onalaska in a very difficult district as a really tough customer here in the next few weeks, including the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, our area has a really rich history of producing state championship football teams, and you talked about Napine, Kalama, Onalaska. I mean, those are the guys that have been winning 2B state titles for a long time before Okanagan the last couple of years, and so it really means something to beat those teams, and it is a tough district. We're kind of known for 2B football around our area, and that's not to say there's not a lot of great teams on the east side, but just the opportunity to maybe be the best team in the West, and it looks like we probably are based on results. That's big. And then, now we hopefully get a seed that will give us a chance to, make a real run at it.
Last thing about your team, Eli Weeks, his growth in your offense and a senior captain, how would you kind of describe the year he's having for you?
I mean, the stats kind of speak for themselves. He's having a great year. He I think he's the best quarterback in the 2Bs. And, he got bigger, stronger, physically. And so he can handle the hits that come along with playing quarterback, but also just his understanding of our offense and just route combinations and what the defense is doing. All those things combined make him a really, really special player. And he's got a good receiver too. I mean, Adam Kruger's, I think one of the best receivers in the state. And so it's a really, really good combo. But Eli puts the ball in really tight windows, and we have guys that can catch it. So he's a really, really special player, and I'm lucky to have him.
Mike Christensen, Toledo, big 32-0 home win, final home game in the regular season for his seniors. Hopefully he gets a couple home games somewhere in the playoffs. Mike, congratulations. Stay healthy. We'll see you again, and best of luck here moving forward late in the year and in the playoffs.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, Matt Evans, let's go to our final segment, the hot takes segment. What is your hot take or two, since especially when the championship coach Eric Curley is off, hopefully enjoying himself. What's your hot take or a couple hot takes you have from week 8 football in the state of Washington?
And I think that I'm looking at Puyallup, and, we've kind of the last few weeks, it kind of seems like, we're not necessarily ready to say, okay, we're just kind of waiting to see, it's kind of like, okay, let's in wait and see mode. I think Puyallup has proven to us in the last 3 weeks that they are the best team in 4A. I mean, the 45-0 win over Curtis tonight, undeniable. I think that Puyallup's the best team in 4A. They should be number one, and I think that, I think they're the best team in 4A.
Yeah, I'll send Tom Try your phone number at Lake Stevens, but no. There's certainly an argument to be made for Puyallup being number one in 4A. I've got a couple hot takes tonight. I know you might look at the Skyline score tonight and go, 14-0 over Mount Si. Not real impressive. Given what that program has been through in the last 7 days, and to go and shut out Mount Si with what's gone on with that coaching staff and Peyton Pallor just brings joy to my heart. I'm sure that wasn't an easy thing for those players to go through, to not have their coach, for their rest of their coaching staff to take a stand for their head coach and say, if he's not reinstated, we're not coaching. I mean, there was a real possibility that they could have gone into Monday, Tuesday, not knowing who their coach was, or who was going to coach their position. And for that investigation to end on Tuesday, and for Peyton to come back and get that team refocused and clinch the 4A Kinko number 1 seed tonight was truly, truly remarkable. I'm really proud of that team and really happy for Peyton Pallor. I'm sure I can't even imagine what the last week's been like for him. The second hot take is, and the reason we went to Tumwater tonight was I was going to see if this was the team that could match up with consensus number 1 Archbishop Murphy, at least in a physical standpoint. And if you'd asked me 10 minutes into the game when they were up 27-0, I would have said, man, pretty impressive. After that, they kind of went to sleep offensively. And quite frankly, they couldn't really get their wing tee, their inside run in the wing tee, their dive stuff going at all against undersized and honestly a very pesky WF West team that I was more impressed with watching them tonight than I was heading into the game. But my take is that Tumwater would have to play a perfect game to beat Archbishop Murphy, to be honest with you. This is it's going to take a Herculean effort for somebody to take down Archbishop Murphy, who was off this week. And I know Tumwater's off next week. So, and it'll still be a fun 2A bracket. And I imagine if Tumwater does see Archbishop Murphy, it's either going to be in the state semifinals or with us at Husky Stadium for Gridiron Classic. Well, that'll do it for week 8, the Midnight Reactions podcast, where we take a look at the scoreboard from all games in the state of Washington. For my guest in the Tri-Cities, Matt Evans, I'm your host, Todd Milles. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back next week.